This is a full card recap of UFC Fight Night Whittaker vs. Aliskerov. We're actually going to start with the main card for this recap and work our way down all the way through the prelims at the end. Robert Whittaker KOs Aliskerov in the first round. Crazy win. You could see the intensity of Robert Whittaker's face. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. He went out there to prove a point. The odds were crazy close. I didn't really think Aliskerov deserved those type of odds. Had not proved himself at this point in his career. And Robert really showed why he was too much for him. And it was pretty crazy because the first 1-2 that really landed solidly on Aliskerov rocked him. He followed up with a head kick and then immediately closed the distance, went for an uppercut, and it was pretty much all over from there. Great win for Whittaker. I don't think Aliskerov's stock really declines much, honestly. I just think people know that this was probably too much for him in terms of a jump up in competition. I hope he gets an easier matchup in the future, obviously, and best of luck on a speedy recovery. We move down the card to Alexander Volkov wins a decision over Sergey Pavlovich. Oh man, I really wish I went with my gut. I said it in my full card predictions video. I thought there was a chance that Alexander Volkov would piece up Sergey and win a decision win. I really thought that the reach advantage, he would be able to catch him eventually, whether it be in the first or second round. I thought it might have been in the first round, but Volkov really kept the distance. His jab was crazy in this fight. It was super strong, super hard. Threw it very consistently. He had great distance management in this fight, unlike someone else in the main card that we're going to talk about later on. But yeah, it was great. He had great leg kicks, great body kicks, and he was really keeping Sergey at bay. There was some shaky points in this fight. Pavlovich was closing the distance a lot, and he did crack Volkov a few times, but obviously didn't hit him hard enough to put him out. Great win from Volkov in this fight. And I don't know what that shove was at the end. I hope everything's all good with them, because I know they were training partners previous to this, I'm pretty sure. Great win from Volkov, and we move on down the card. Kelvin Gastelum beats Daniel Rodriguez by decision. Listen, Kelvin performed very well. I'm not going to say that he didn't, but I'm very disappointed in him. He came in overweight, made Rodriguez agree to basically to a middleweight bout instead of the welterweight bout that it was already scheduled for. And yeah, definitely looked like he had the advantage in weight, looked a little bit heavier in the midsection, and I believe it did contribute a lot to a lot of the grappling exchanges. He probably would have felt a lot stronger. Just a little disappointed in him and sort of taints this win a little bit, when I already thought he would win this pretty convincingly. Anyway, that was a quick one. Just a little disappointed. Moving on down the card, Sharamagomedov gets the finish over Antonio Tricoli. Finishes him in the third round. I honestly thought that it wasn't that good of a performance. When I watched it, I thought he was getting clinched on a lot. He didn't look that good in the first or second round. Antonio sort of just started looking like a punching bag a little bit in the third round. Just got clipped by everything. Was just walking towards him very slowly. Was getting hit with a lot of kicks as well. And it looked like he upped his speed, honestly. He looked a little bit faster. Looked like he was landing quite a lot more on Antonio Tricoli. I honestly think this should have been an easier win for Sharamagomedov, but nonetheless, he did get the finish in the end. And I think he got a bonus for this fight, like a finishing bonus maybe, but I would like to see him verse someone. I believe Bo Nichols calling him out. I would like to see that fight after this. And we move on down the card. Volkan Oezdemir beats Johnny Walker by round 1 KO. If I sound disappointed, guys, it may have been since I picked Johnny Walker to win this fight. I don't think, honestly, I can pick Johnny Walker to win another fight in the future anymore. I think he's got some attributes that could make him one of the greatest fighters in the division. He's just so explosive. He's so long, like I said in my prediction video, but he just does not use his strengths at all. Like, he did not try to keep a distance with Volkan Oezdemir in this fight. He just let him close the distance on him and spray him down with massive shots, which is crazy. When you're the lengthier guy, you're the more explosive guy as well. I would think he'd be trying to keep a distance, keeping an output from the outside, but I can no longer rely on that thought of Johnny Walker trying to use his distance management or trying to use his strengths to his advantage. He just doesn't seem to want to jab or keep shots at a distance. So on the other side of the coin, Volkan looked good in terms of closing the distance. He did leave himself open, but Johnny couldn't capitalize on that, and he puts him out viciously as well. I think he was done as soon as he dropped to the ground, then he peppered him with at least one more solid punch that put him out completely cold. Definitely a little bit unnecessary, but that is the fight game. Congrats to Volkan Oezdemir for the KO win. We move down the card. We move down to the prelims. We've got Nasrat Haqparast winning a decision over Jared Gordon. Guys, I've picked Nasrat Nasrat Haqparast to win this fight. He's gotten the decision win. I will take it because I've seen in my other prediction videos that I've been robbed in a couple of fights so far. So if I don't claim the robberies when they happen, I have to claim the robberies when they work in my favor. But like you just heard me say, I think this was a robbery. Honestly, I watched it live. I had to watch it back a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that Jared won 2 out of the 3 rounds. Definitely, I think it was the second and the third that Jared won. He had an argument for winning the first as well, but I think Nasrat did edge it out and did hit him with a few more damaging shots, especially towards the end of the round in the first round. I know this was a split decision, but I thought this was a pretty clear win for Jared Gordon. I'm a little bit disappointed because he's been robbed many times in his career. I did say this fight would be closer than people think as well, and it just makes me sad for him. They got to do something about these judges, man. Replace them or something. I don't know. We move on down the card. Felipe Lima gets the 3rd round submission win. Guys, we've got someone to look out for definitely in the featherweight division right now. Felipe Lima looked fantastic. I thought everything would be stacked against him. The guy's coming in on short notice. He's fighting up a division in featherweight when he's fought in bantamweight. He had a fight scheduled, I believe, a month from now, and he ended up fighting this fight in the UFC, and he's coming in to verse a guy that looks good in the featherweight division so far. I just thought there was too many things stacked against him, but he really did prove me wrong. Looked fantastic. I was surprised at how fast and explosive he looked, and the guy looks dangerous in this division right now. Definitely look out for this guy. Remembered his name. Deserves the praise for this win. We move on down the card. Rinat Fakhretdinov gets the decision win over Nicolas Dalby. Close fight, a little bit boring, guys, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't help that the fights were between 2 to 5 a.m. for me, especially on the prelims. I was half asleep watching most of these fights, but Rinat seemed to have the better control, definitely took him down, but Dalby was able to get back up in a lot of the exchanges. I honestly think there was chances for Dalby to win this fight as well, and there was a potential that they could have edged it to Dalby as well. I believe he did more strikes in the 2nd and 3rd round. The judges must have favored a lot of the takedowns, and he did look like he was controlling the fight more on the ground, just did have less activity. But yeah, not the most exciting fight of the card. We move on. Muin Gafurov gets the decision win. Another not really exciting fight of the card. It was pretty much mostly a grappling fest. I think Muin Gafurov won this pretty clearly, but Kyung Ho Kang had his chances in this fight. He had very good positions over Muin Gafurov. I think he was in full mount once or twice this fight as well. But he just seemed like he left openings for Muin Gafurov to escape in this fight whenever he had the upper hand in the grappling exchange. Muin sort of capitalized in this fight, was able to reverse position a few times, and was able to do more with his grappling than Kyung Ho Kang. Like I said, not much to say. We move on down the card. Magomed Gaziasolov wins against Brenson Ribeiro. This was pretty interesting to me. I thought that it was going to be a firefight from the get-go. I thought it wasn't going to get out of the first round, to be honest with you. But Brenson looked a lot more patient in this fight. He looked pretty good in the first round, had his moments. But as soon as Gaziasolov was able to take him down, it pretty much ended up being over from there. Like, I didn't see Ribeiro try to get out of the positions that Gaziasolov was putting him in. And he ended up just grappling him at the end of the first, I believe, and then the 2nd and 3rd complete grappling rounds. Yeah, good win for Magomed Gaziasolov. Pretty boring though, a lot of control time, but definitely a lot more active than most in the ground and pound, so we move on. Chang Ho Lee gets the win over Zhao Long. This was a split decision win. It could have gone either way, maybe, this fight. I did favor Chang Ho Lee when the result was called. It did go against my pick because I did pick Zhao Long to win. But I honestly think the decision maker was these knees in the clinch. These guys love the clinch. I think they were in the clinch for half the fight this fight. Chang Ho Lee was firing knees into the midsection, I think consistently harder than Zhao Long, and he was doing it more as well, so I think the judges would have seen that. That was probably the best thing of the fight. It was a more of an exciting fight than others on the card. But yeah, not much to say. Decent card overall. Obviously happy with the main event result. Happy my boy Bobby Knuckles gets the win, of course. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about this fight card in the comments below, and see you guys next time.